My family has always made a big deal of Halloween. We always loved the dressing up and the creative process of choosing and making a costume. My mother loves designing and making clothes. We keep urging her to go pro, but she says she just doesn't have the time. And she's always seen Halloween as her time to shine. One day, in mid-October, we were looking for some fabric for my sister's costume in the attic when she found something in an old cardboard box that made her gasp with delight. My old Titania dress. She gasped. She pulled it out and held it up for me to see. It was made of green velvet, with wings and a silver tiara, and she had made it when she was 14 and wanted to dress up as Titania from Midsummer Night's Dream. She hugged the dress like it was her child and held it up for me to look at. I wasn't an expert on clothes, but even I could tell how gorgeous it was. The rich colours, the silver thread embroidery, and the delicate wings on the back dress, and I could barely believe she had made it herself, even though she assured me she had. It was my mum's idea at first, she said. I didn't think I could pull it off. I never thought I could make something this beautiful, or that I'd ever look pretty enough to wear a dress like this. But my mum believed in me, and she convinced me to give it a try. I always half imagined there was something really magical about this dress, she said, with a dreamy grin. I felt like it transformed me into something more, that what I was, she said, with a shrug. She put it down for a moment, and soon we found the roll of fabric that we had been looking for. When we were finished, though, she took the dress downstairs too, and washed it. I asked why, and she just said something vague about how it was important to look after precious things. A couple of days later, we were having dinner, and she said, Michael, I've had a thought. Would you like to wear my Titania dress for Halloween? You're the same age I was when I made it. I chuckled and shook my head. Nah, Mum, no. I am Iron Man. I said it just like Ozzy Osbourne did, back when he was cool. I had been working on my costume for ages, making the armour out of sheets carefully sculpted plastic, and even building in electronic parts so the arc reactor would light up. You'd look so pretty though, she said. Come on, get up. I did so. She got the dress and held it up against me. It fits perfectly. You should wear it, you'd look great as Titania. I don't want to wear a dress. I've got my Iron Man costume. She shrugged, and then we had pudding. I came home from school the day before Halloween, and Mum was waiting at the door awkwardly. I'm really sorry, she said, and she hugged me. I thought the cat had died at first. Worried, I looked her in the eye and asked, what's happened? I was in your bedroom, hoovering, she started. I should have picked it up first. I stepped on your costume, Michael. I'm so sorry. Oh, my first thought was one of relief that the cat was okay. I was a little puzzled because I was sure I had left it on my desk. I ran upstairs and I went to look at it. All the carefully assembled bits of moulded plastic were snapped and shattered. I wondered if I could fix it. Dad always said you could do wonder with duct tape, but it was too far gone. I sighed. What would I do? I had told all my friends I had an awesome costume planned that I'd been working on for weeks. Anything I made now would be utterly embarrassing and childish. I would just have to stay at home this year. We ate tea and I did my homework, and then I spent an hour trying to fix the costume, but in the end I gave up. Mum came to see me because she knew I would be upset. She asked me how I wanted to handle this. Could we fix it? But I said I just wasn't going to go. Oh no, you should come out. We can figure something out. You could be a vampire that just needs a cape and some teeth. No, it's not the same. I need something that'll really wow them. You could wear Mum's fairy costume, said my little sister. She said it fits you. She was exactly as annoying as you would expect an 8-year-old kid sister to be. No, I want something that's going to impress all my friends, I snapped. Maybe it will. Wouldn't it be something if you could trick all your friends into thinking you were really a girl? Said Mum. I smirked slightly. I could see some appeal to the idea. If I could pull it off, Michael would never dress as a girl. Being a girl is too hard. Boys have it easy, everyone knows that, said Liz. Don't be silly, I said dismissively. I think she has a point, actually, said Mum. We could tell people you were ill, that your cousin was visiting. We could make you look completely different, and I think it would blow their minds completely. But it'd take too much work from you, and being a girl Mintis and looking glamorous to boot Mintis is actually really hard work. Maybe you should just stay home this year. You're chicken, said Liz. Mum glared at her, but she was smiling as she did it. I'd look ridiculous, I said. No, you wouldn't, said Mum. And we could disguise you. We could dye your hair, get contact lenses. There's a lot you can do with makeup. Nobody would recognize you. No, it's a waste of time. Maybe I can still fix the helmet and... Just try the dress on, said Liz. I'd love to see what it looks like on you, said Mum. I was exhausted with this. I just wanted to put an end to it. And yet, I was starting to think how cool it would be to see my friends and have them not even recognize me. Fine. Okay. I'll try it on. Hold on, said Mum. We're going to do this properly. What do you mean? I want to do your hair and makeup. When you see yourself in that dress for the first time, I want you to see how different you're going to look. No one will recognize you. What? No, look, this will take ages. Liz started to cluck like a chicken. Mum gave her a look, but I just shrugged, and Mum told me her plan. I went upstairs for a shower, and when I came out wrapped in a towel, Mum set to work on my hair, dyeing it a bright, but natural-looking red. It was quite long and straggly, but she trimmed the ends to make it neater, and then she set to work curling it. The whole process took an hour and a half, and even when it was done, she still wouldn't let me see. What do you think your girl name should be? She asked. I thought I was going to be Titania. No, that's your fairy name. But what's your girl name? I mean, we're going to tell people that your cousin is visiting. But what's her name? Sarah? Sophie? Eve? Jane? Claire? Zoe, I said. And I wondered for a moment where that came from. It just seemed right. Zoe, she said. It sounds lovely. Once my hair was towel dry, she handed me a small canvas bag. What's this? I said, but I just looked inside. It contained girls' underwear, several pairs of panties, and a couple of, I wasn't sure what to call them, crop tops? Bralettes? Mum just smiled. Why did you buy these? I asked. They're too small for you, too big for Liz. They were on sale, she replied with a shrug. I'm not wearing panties, I said firmly. You have to. Wearing your own underwear is going to affect the shape of the dress. It won't look right, and we need you to get into the mindset. You're a girl now, remember? Hold on, I agreed to just try the dress on. You've dyed my hair and curled it, you've bought me girls' underwear. What's going on here? Just put them on, Zoe, she said with a sigh. She turned away, and I put the panties on. I felt so embarrassed. I then pulled the bra on as well. Then she helped me get a pair of green tights on. Now Michael wears glasses, but that'll give the game away. So I thought I'd lend you a pair of my disposable contact lenses. Our prescriptions are about the same. She explained how to put them on, and how to take them out, and then they were in. Then it was time for the dress. Mum put it over my head like she was putting a crown on my head. Now can I see what No. Makeup. She got out her makeup kit and put on a little foundation, and then eyeliner and mascara and a little light lip gloss. She said she was going for a subtle look, to make me prettier, and to help me look different rather than a more obvious approach. After another 15 minutes, she smiled. There, are you finished yet? Can I see? I asked. Hang on. Liz, my little sister came running up the stairs. Oh wow, she said as she stared at me. What? I said, getting up from the chair. I went through to my mum's room, where there was a full-length mirror. When I went in, I caught the briefest glimpse of myself as I passed, and for a moment thought I'd seen a stranger in the room. For a split second, my brain basically went, oh shit, sorry to burst in on you. Wait, what the fuck is a random girl doing in my mum's room? Oh shit, that's me. Suddenly curious, my heart racing, I went towards the mirror. I didn't recognize the person standing in front of me. Even without the wings, she looked like a girl from a fairy tale. The face looked like mine, and somehow, not mine as well. The skin was a different texture. The eyes appeared to be a different shape. My features softer and yet somehow more precise. I had curly red hair as well. I looked at myself closely. Would people realize I was a boy? I tried to be objective, though I was too shocked. I think I looked like a girl, and a pretty one at that. Mum walked in quietly and stood beside me for a moment, just sharing the moment. Do you think it'll fool them? I whispered. Yeah, me too. Now there's only one thing we still need. Well, a couple, I guess, she said with a smile. I frowned, unsure what she meant. Shoes, she said. We're going shoe shopping. Every girl's dream. What? No, I can't go out like this. People will see me. If you're going out like that for Halloween, you need to get used to being seen out as a girl, she said. And you need shoes to go with that outfit. Okay, let's get going, I said reluctantly. Wait, hang on. You should change into something a bit more low-key. You look like you're hosting the Oscars. But I don't want to dress as a boy while buying girls' shoes, I started, confused. No, you'll just change into another dress. You've got another. Yes, it was on sale. I frowned for a moment but shrugged it off. I think you'll like it. Mum, I'm still a boy. I don't like dresses. This is just a Halloween thing. I know Zoe, I know, she said, a little dismissively for my taste. She went off for a couple of moments and returned with a dress. It was purple, my favourite colour, and she also brought a big, cosy jumper to go over the top. It did actually look and feel quite good. We all bundled into the car and set off for the shopping centre. I was pretty nervous on the journey, and every distraction felt like an irritation. The music on the radio, my sister talking, my mum asking how I was. I wanted silence. My tummy felt like Pandora's box. What if I saw someone I knew? Seeing my friends dressed as Titania on Halloween was one thing, but seeing them hanging out in the mall on a Wednesday night in dress was something else. Mum parked the car, and we got out. We headed through the shopping centre to the shoe shop, and we looked around. There was a pair of green shoes that matched the dress perfectly, surprisingly dainty things, with a pointed toe and a slight heel. They were perfect. I tried them on, and they were great. We bought them. It was time to go home. "Oh, one more thing," said Mum, and she took us to Next. I wasn't sure why. I thought I had everything for my costume. Was she getting something for Liz too, so she didn't feel left out? We went to the children's section, and then she found a pair of pink pyjamas in my size. They had Stitch from Lilo and Stitch on them. She pulled them off the hanger and held them up against me. "They look great." "Mum, why do I need girls' pyjamas?" I hissed. "Oh yeah, didn't I say? You'll be staying as Zoe until Halloween is over," she said. "So you get the hang of being a girl." My heart sank. I started. "What about school?" "Oh," she said with a smile. "You'll be staying off school. I'll make you do some work though, so you don't fall behind. But Michael has a nasty tummy bug, so he won't be out on Halloween." Such a shame it happened just as cousin Zoe is visiting. I smiled. "Okay, sure, fine." She paid for the pyjamas and we were leaving. When she said after all that, "I think we deserve a milkshake and some cookies." I had very mixed feelings about this. I wanted to go home, but I do love milkshake. Liz was cheering and grinning, and I didn't have the heart to argue with her. We drank and we chatted, and I did my best to play the role of the early teen girl, having a milkshake with her mum and little sister, rolling my eyes at mum's jokes and goofing off. I realised I needed the toilet, so I excused myself and headed to the gents. In that particular coffee shop, the ladies is off to the left and the guys is to the right. I heard my mum say something to Liz and then she came running up to me. "Zoe, you are such a ditz," she said theatrically. "The ladies is this way." I remembered myself and frowned at her. "Liz, this is the first time I've been here. I thought the boys' and girls' toilets would be together." She shrugged and left me to it. I went to the door with the silhouette in the dress on the sign, and I went in. I had never been in a girl's toilets before, at least. Not that I could really remember. I suppose my mum must have taken me in them when I was little. I have vague memories of being 3 or 4 in public toilets with my mum, but never since. It seemed a little weird that there were no urinals, though, on reflection, it would have been weirder if there were. I went into a cubicle, lifted the lid, and started to pull up my dress. As I did so, though, I started to feel weird. A little bit of a headache, but also a sense of worry and anxiety and dread. This felt wrong. Standing to pee in the ladies' toilets, and what if I got some pee on my new shoes or something? I pulled down my panties and sat down on the toilet. That felt better. I peed, wiped, washed my hands and left. As we were leaving the mall, Liz shouted something in delight. She ran across the hallway and started to hug another little girl, who I soon recognised as her friend Melissa, who was out with her mum picking up some Halloween supplies. Mum wandered over, and I had no choice but to follow. "Hey, this is my cousin Zoe," said Liz excitedly. "She's staying with us for a couple of days." "Hi," I said. "Aunt Amy invited me over for Halloween. There's stuff going on in the house, so it was easiest if I stayed here for a bit." "Oh, nice," said Melissa's mum. "Well, I hope you enjoy your stay." She didn't seem suspicious at all. "I just hope I don't get this bug Michael's got," I added. "Oh, poor thing. Is he ill?" "Oh, yeah. Hurling left, right and centre," I said. "Stomach bug, probably. Might be food poisoning. He found a pie at the back of the freezer earlier. I told him not to eat it, but that boy just doesn't listen." "Oh dear," said Melissa's mum. "He's probably going to miss Halloween," I added. "And he was so excited about his Iron Man costume." "Oh dear. Well, you give him our love, yeah." "Oh no. I'm not going near him. Maybe I'll shout a message up the stairs, or hold up a big sign outside his bedroom window." She chuckled at this. "Come on, Zoe, we need to get going," said Mum. We went home, and I watched television for a bit, and then I changed into my new girl pyjamas and went to bed. When I went to the toilet before bed, I sat down to pee then as well. I didn't even realise I was doing it until I got up. There was something weird about all this, though I couldn't really justify that feeling. I was too tired, so in the end I just went to sleep. The next day, I put on my panties and dress and went downstairs for breakfast, almost without thinking about it. I only realised it was unusual afterwards, when I was cleaning my teeth. My attitude was more like, these are the clothes I'm wearing today, so I'll put them on rather than anything that, oh no, I have to dress as a girl again today. I sat down to pee without even thinking about it that time too. After Liz went to school, I started on my lessons, and Mum had apparently decided that I should spend the day learning about girlish things. She taught me to use the sewing machine, and together we made some clothes for some of Liz's dolls. It was kind of dumb, but I knew that Liz would be thrilled by it, and by the end I was kind of getting into it, trying to pick scraps of fabric that went well together and piece them together into outfits. This isn't about making dolls' clothes, she said. It's about learning the principles of how to make clothes and how to design outfits and how to use a sewing machine. There's a kind of magic in making your own clothes. What do you mean? I mean, something you make for yourself or for someone, and it's just for them. She started. It defines them, it's unique for them, and I think it can change them a little too. Clothes change how people see you and how they treat you, and that changes how you see yourself. That's pretty magical. They let other parts of yourself come out. When my mum and I made my Titania dress, she said, but then she tailed off. The rest of the day was spent on schoolwork. Just because I was pretending to be ill didn't mean I could miss out on learning. So she taught me some maths, and we read Midsummer Night's Dream, and I did some French as well. Then it was time to pick up Liz from her school. We went into the playground, and she introduced me to all her friends as her cousin Zoe. It was great. Then we went home, and we had our dinner, and then it was time for Halloween to begin. I went up to my bedroom to get changed. I took off my dress and stripped down to my bra and panties, and pulled on the dress, the green tights, and the brand new shoes. Mum came up a few minutes later to do my hair and makeup, and then, with a smile, she put on my wings and my tiara. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw a queen. I was beautiful. I couldn't stop staring at myself. I saw something bigger and more powerful in the mirror than the girl I had been before, and I realised that this was someone I had the potential to be. A queen, a leader, a ruler, noble and powerful. It was quite thought-provoking, and I wasn't quite sure how to handle it, so I sat down and painted my nails instead. 10 minutes later, Liz was ready to go, and we set out trick-or-treating. We wandered around the neighbourhood for a while, going to the doors with lanterns outside, exchanging songs and jokes for sweets. After the first few houses, we came to Jason and Debbie's house. Jason was my age, and I'd known him since we were 2, and Debbie was a year younger than Liz. This would be the first test of my costume. Trick or treat. We shouted as Jason answered the door. Hey Liz, he said. I heard Michael was ill. Who's this? This is Zoe, my cousin. He blushed and smiled. Nice to meet you, he said. Likewise, I said with a smile. He wasn't acting like himself. Normally he was really boisterous. We went round from house to house, collecting sweets and fellow trick-or-treaters as we went along. Most of the kids knew me fairly well, but none of them recognised me. The girls seemed happy to have a new friend and seemed keen to make me feel like I belonged. The younger boys ignored me, and the older boys were strangely awkward around me. Once we'd hit every house in a 2-block radius, it was time to go home. I said goodbye to my new friends and walked Liz back to ours. I love having you around, Zoe, said Liz. She smiled and held my hand. When we got home, I was surprisingly tired, so I took off my shoes and put down my bulging bag of sweets. Mum said hi, and I realised I should change out of my costume before eating the sweets and risking getting my dress chocolatey. I felt awkward for a moment. Was it bedtime? Should I put my pyjamas on? Or should I change back into my skirt? Somewhere in the back of my mind, I thought I should put my boy clothes back on. But something about that felt strange and wrong. I put the thought out of my mind and went to the toilet. I pulled up my dress, pulled down my panties, sat down, and realised with a start that I was a girl now. Somehow, though, it seemed perfectly natural and nothing to be too worried about. I washed my hand and went up to my room and looked through my drawers and wardrobes. All my boy clothes had gone, replaced by dresses and other girlish things. Part of me found this all utterly inexplicable, and I knew I should be terrified. But somehow it all seemed perfectly natural and normal. Reality was shifting somehow. I knew, and when I woke up tomorrow morning, everybody would believe that I was Zoe, that I was my mum's daughter and Liz's sister, and that had always been the case. Life was going to be different, but it was an adventure, not an ordeal. Even so, I felt I should talk to my mum about it. I went downstairs. She was sitting on the sofa with a book while Liz was upstairs getting changed. Mum, something a bit odd has happened. You remember how I used to be a boy, right? I was Michael, and now I'm Zoe? Well, I've turned into a girl. All my boy clothes have vanished, and I blushed and gestured vaguely towards my new vagina. I've turned into a girl. She smiled warmly and hugged me. I always said that dress was special, didn't I? She said. That's the thing with Halloween. This time of year, the boundary between the worlds becomes a little thinner, and the world becomes a little bit more magical. If it bothers you, you can always change back next year. You just need to make the right costume. I nodded thoughtfully. Boys were immature jerks, and willies are kind of gross and weird looking, so I couldn't see any real reason why I would want to become one again. Still, it was nice to have the option. You're at a special time in your life, and your body's going to change a lot, particularly if you have a special dress like that one. But don't worry, it's perfectly normal and natural, and nothing to be scared about. After all, the same thing happened to me when I was a boy.